the realist will never be poppin'. And what does it mean to be poppin'? Well, it means what you're speaking about is true. You don't even need to speak it. You're probably just someone who knows it deep down, and you can even beat around the bush and kind of not say the words that would cause you to not be popping, but just you knowing this in general is gonna not really allow you to be in a position where you're popping, and popping means just like a bunch of exposure. It means like popularity, what's kind of happening right now is the things that need to be said are not being said. The realist will never be popping. What needs to be said is being avoided. So people who understand this position most usually don't even go as far as even trying to want to get exposure or trying your best to even get what needs to be said out there because of just so many blockages and so many things being thrown in front. It might even go as far as allowing someone who's in the same tier or in the same speaking, to someone who opposes what's being said. They might even go as far as allow that person to be popping and allow some fake narrative script beef thing to happen with this person to block out the person who's speaking the real stuff. And not only that, like we just spoke before, how, it's going to be people who don't even want to go as far as speaking about this, but the ones who do go as far, there can be situations where it's distractions thrown in front of this person or fake narrative distractions trying to be caused, right? Trying to be stirred in order to hope that this person hops into that and doesn't speak about what needs to really be spoken on. And that's what's going on right now. In order for you to be someone who even is speaking real stuff, and you have been speaking real stuff, and in order for that to even get some exposure, it's almost like you need to go down this fake beef. It's kind of getting corny, this drama stuff, that's going on, just in order for what you've spoken on previously to get popping. And that's kind of just what's going on right now. Where the ones, you who understand what you've been seeing and what you've been saying and what you've been supporting is true and it's real, it's almost like that is all that is the underlayer stuff. So once you're at the lowest layer, that's what's causing and controlling all the layers on top. And all the layers on top, that's the exposure. Everything on top, that's what can be seen. Everything on top, that's what you're looking at. That's what that's what's being recommended to you. That's what you have more of a chance of paying attention to, because it has more energy to it, and it's more of the even if these situations and people and stuff like that understand what's underneath and what's at the bottom of the layer, well, what you're still seeing on top is obviously it's got to be a bunch of beef. It's got to be drama. It's got to be a bunch of the stuff that's hiding the real things that are shaking up the ground, the real things that are shaking up the ground, the real things that need to be said that only those underneath understand. That's being hidden. It's underneath. The realist will never be popping. And this is because they don't care about being popping. They care about what really needs to be said. And what really needs to be said is what's going to cause a clash. And this clash, this real beef, this real battle, right, is going to be hidden unless the person or the ones who understand that it needs to be said will go out and say it and not avoid it. But that's easier said than done, because only a few select of those can understand that. And only a few select of those, it's going to take a long time for them to even have the, I don't know, to even really have the confidence. I'm trying to use a better word than confidence to even say this, because of how much is going to come with it. Because of how much negativity it's going to cause in your life if you're someone who's really willing to put yourself in that zone and damn near kind of sacrifice yourself because you truly know what's going on. And these people who are popping up just randomly out of nowhere, trying to act as if anything that you've spoke about has anything to do with them, even though at times there may have been situations where you had to go back and forth with someone in order to get you to where you have now. But once you've shown that you've surpassed that, and you still have the same people trying to kind of cycle back to get some little, some rabbit energy, energizer battery, from Radio Shack energy stuff and all that, right? That's when you know that this person is a distraction, because you've already gone past that point. You've already put this person in their place. So everything they're trying to do is just some retract, because they don't understand what you understand. They don't understand the underneath the layer. They're not at that underneath the layer. They can only understand what they see for themselves. They can't understand what's seen universally. They can only understand if it works for themselves or if not. And if it doesn't work for them, then of course they're going to oppose and pretend to be blind to the fact. So this is something you need to understand. You can clearly see that people will only be willing to support things they understand. They'll only be willing to engage in things they understand. They'll only be willing to transfer and to completely take the subject off what it was and turn it into something completely else. And this is where we get things like fake beef. This is where we get things like fake narratives and fake drama to build upon that, to get exposure. And that's what Poppin is. It's exposure. What needs to be said is being avoided. And I guarantee what needed to be said wasn't being avoided right now. The real clash that would happen between those who understand the underneath the layer, right? It would be very hard for those on top to try to even mirror or to even try to create a false narrative that would even be as hard as the one that's underneath the layer. So that's why you see so many distractions being thrown on top of what needs to be said, and why you see you'll see it play out as very corny. You'll see it play out as scripted. You'll see it play out as you already know what's going to happen. You'll see it play out as there's going to be no outcome. You can already see what the outcome is going to be. There will be no fist fight. No guns will be drawn. You already know what to expect when it comes to things like this, and that's not something you want. But that's how you can tell if something is kind of like a fake beef. It has nothing to do with underneath the layer type stuff. You already know what to expect. What's being said is already kind of, mundane. And you're gonna notice this, especially when things continue, where the ones who truly know what's going on, you will see that this is something new. This is something that is going to raise eyebrows because you didn't see it coming. It's underneath the layers. It's going to take a hard time for you, especially if you're someone who gets caught up in fake beef, or someone who gets caught up in drama or caught up in narrative. It's going to be hard to you to even see what's going on. But dang, you're going to want to know what's going on, because you're not going to know what the outcome is. You're not going to know what the end point is to this, So the realist will never be popping. Their whole message is going to be taken for something else. You're going to see a bunch of just weird stuff, things you've never seen before, but it's so obvious. Like, okay, this person just made their account 4 days ago, and they're claiming what you're saying isn't real, and they're claiming that they're bigger and badder, yet they don't have nothing. They have no content up. They have no videos. They have no proof. Nothing. So, but this is when we can see. Now we're starting to see like the shrinkage. We're starting to weed out all the ones who are fake. Obviously, the ones who just made something 2 days ago to support someone who just wants to be affiliated with someone because they have nothing to speak about. They don't understand what's underneath the layer. They only understand what they're seeing. They only understand the top. They never experienced anything for them to even speak. So of course they would only be in a position to only speak about other people. You get what I'm saying? So that's why you'll never be popping. You'll notice that you're the one who only can speak and bring things to light. You'll notice that you're the only one who tried to bring things together. And not only that, you'll realize that you're the one that took the heat and took the blame for doing all of that. And now everything that you expected while participating in that cycle, perimeter trap, basically what it is when you decide to participate with people who act like this, people who only feed off drama, people who only feed off narratives, people who only feed off negativity. And when you can see that you're not being bothered by this, and you can see that it's bothering them when you're not bothered by this, that's when you know it's okay. Yeah, you've surpassed that, and it's time to finally get onto this situation where what's been avoided and needs to be spoken on will need to be spoken on here in a bit. So just know that, don't get confused that a lot of people who can't understand this, they're the ones who can only understand what they're seeing. They can only understand what they can feed off of. And this is probably 80% of the people you'll see now. Those who are taking sides of those who want to participate in someone kicking something real. And these people taking that side don't even know what they're speaking about. They just made their channel 2 days ago. They're just bored. They just want to be a part of something. They just need energy. Oh, that's a new energy I haven't seen before. Oh, I can take that and run with it somewhere else and do something for myself with this person who I don't even know. And that's what you call some real stuff going on, not this fake stuff that people kind of just do for views. And sometimes they unconsciously do it because energy rubs off a certain way. There may be someone who you're not even affiliated with, but it might just be someone that you check up on here now and then, and you kind of just see demeanors changing here and then, and you're wondering, well, what's going on? And you may not realize that it could be your energy that's rubbing off on this person unconsciously or unintentionally, But the matter of the fact is that the realist will never be popping unless you're someone who's willing to eventually participate in this stuff. And that's not to say that the ones who are participating in this, some call it fake narratives. I call it like staged entertainment. It's like staged entertainment because you already know what's gonna happen. And it's not more so this person who's participating in this drama starter stuff's fault, but you got to defend yourself. You got to, so it's not, this isn't to say that everyone who participates in, responding back to hate or responding back to someone who's talking crap about you, that you're someone who's trying to stage an entertainment or trying to get views. No, that it's not your fault. So that's not to say that, this is saying that someone who's participating in that is your fault. No, because you got to defend yourself. And this is why I say those who haven't yet built themselves up to a bigger plateau like that, to where you do have a support following, that a much bigger support following, everyone can say whatever they want. It's freedom of speech at the end of the day. But I'm just saying, those who made a channel 2 days ago, hopefully you're taking what they say with a grain of salt. Because you don't know where they're coming from. You don't know why they're saying what they're saying. You don't know why they're supporting this person, which we just spoke on before, is a person who's only involving themselves in this because they feed off of that. They feed off of negativity. They feed off of drama. They feed off of, and this is why this is the type of people who will do things like this, to hope that it continues. This is a distraction from what you haven't even heard yet, because you don't understand the underlying issues, the underneath issues, the issues that are underneath. It's at the bottom of the totem pole. So if you can't understand the bottom of the totem pole, and you can only understand what you can see for yourself, what you can only use for yourself, what you can only use to feed yourself because you have no energy to eat, right? then of course that's what you're going to cater to. You're not going to cater to the things that you can't understand or probably wouldn't be able to comprehend, even if you were to be in that situation. And people have tried to make you understand at some points, but you still want to be, blind to the fact and participate with what's popping. So that's where we get into things like cycles, and eventually those of you who can see, and there's going to be a very select few of you who can understand what's even being said right in this vid. It's going to be up to you to create your own cycle. Okay, so that's all I wanted to say here. I'll have some more vids up here in a bit, and thanks for watching.